This is the difference between schools around the world. First, there is the food. In Brazil, students eat a plate of rice, beans, and some protein. In Japan, the food is quite normal, but the students themselves wear aprons and caps to serve their classmates. Meanwhile, in Finland, they usually have 2 dish options, which include salad and a drink. It seems absurd, but there are also rules. In Brazil, students cannot use their cell phones in class and have breaks every 2 hours. In Japan, students have specific breaks to clean the entire school, including the bathrooms. In Finland, cell phones can be used if the teacher allows it, and they have breaks to rest every 45 minutes. They created a sharkskin suit, but it worked so well that it had to be banned. A team hired a scientist to produce a suit that would make swimmers faster. Until then, everyone thought the secret was to be as smooth as possible. But when the scientist began studying the shark, he saw that the skin was not smooth, but covered in tiny teeth. He decided to replicate this and created a swimsuit with that texture. The suit was so efficient that it had to be banned from competitions. She took a bite of the chocolate and her face swelled up like a balloon. But the girl was only allergic to fish, which left her mother confused. She rushed to the hospital and they saved the girl. A few days later, the exact same thing happened. The mother tried to call the factory, but nobody answered. Finally, she called the police and went there to find out what was going on. It turned out that the factory used the same machine to mix chocolate and to manufacture omega-3 capsules. That's why some labels now say may contain fish. This city had a big problem. There were many venomous snakes invading the houses. The governor had a brilliant idea. He said he would pay a sum of money for each snake that the population delivered. At first, it was a success and the snakes decreased, but they started to become so difficult to find that some people gave up hunting and decided to start breeding snakes. Some created real farms just to sell to the government. They canceled the payment, but the breeders got so angry that they released the snakes into the street. They would take off their armor, cover their entire bodies in olive oil, and run into the arena. Afterward, they would participate in physical training for hours until they were dripping with sweat. Upon leaving the arena, a servant would take a metal spatula and scrape every part of their bodies, collecting this substance in a vial. The bottle was then taken to a market and sold to the nobility, who used it as a perfume.